Arthur's big hit is such a frustrating episode of Arthur. I feel like they were trying to do the right thing, and there is an important message in this, but there's a really strong display of bad parenting. This is the second segment of the first episode of the 4th season of Arthur, and Arthur is working hard on this model aeroplane, and he's told DW several times, do not touch it. DW doesn't listen. She tries to fly the plane out of the window, not really understanding that it's a model and that it's not meant to fly, and obviously it crashes to the floor and breaks, and Arthur is devastated, and in a fit of rage he punches DW on the arm. The way the camera, or well, the way it was animated, it looked like he punched her on the face, but it wasn't. It was her arm. And obviously Arthur's feeling a little bit sorry about that, but he doesn't understand why he is being punished for that, but she isn't being punished. And I completely agree with Arthur. Good parenting shows that you don't take sides. And DW is never shown to have consequences for her actions. I mean, getting punched, I guess, is a pretty big consequence, but her parents never once said, Arthur, you're being punished for hitting your sister, but also DW, you're being punished for messing with something that isn't yours and breaking something that your brother has worked long and hard on. Never did they show Arthur that they were being treated fairly. And that really infuriated me, because Arthur said that. It's not that Arthur ever said, you shouldn't punish me, I didn't do anything. He very clearly said, why am I being punished and she isn't? And I think at one point they might have said, we'll deal with DW, but that's not enough. You have to show both children that both of their actions have consequences, and they will be suitably punished for doing wrong. Otherwise, how will Arthur ever feel like what DW did was fair? He feels like DW is getting away with it. And even if DW was grounded or punished separately away from Arthur, it's not enough. So I was actually really annoyed at the episode for that, because there was no suggestion that they were being fairly punished, and that Arthur, yeah, he shouldn't have hit DW, but she shouldn't have messed with something he spent long and hard on. He might have hurt her physically. That will heal. But the emotional pain he will feel for having wasted, in theory, all of that time, he's not getting any of that back. That needs to be punished too, and I was just so annoyed that the episode didn't handle that very well at all. However, what it did do right is that Arthur learned that you shouldn't hit anybody, but particularly somebody smaller than you. And this is a spoiler. I'm going to explain what happens now for that message to be delivered. So, spoilers from now. The tough customers demand that Binky hits the next person he sees, and that just so happens to be Arthur. Binky doesn't actually want to hit Arthur, but one thing leads to another, and he does. And his parents say something along the lines of, well, you know how it feels now. And he says, yes, but that's not fair. Binky's much bigger than me. And then the penny drops. Arthur is also much bigger than DW. So while the punch may not have seemed that severe to him, she's a much smaller little girl, and it would have been much more severe. Of course it wasn't that hard. She wasn't physically traumatized. You know, she healed very quickly. But the point is, Arthur had to realize that she is much smaller, and that punch might have caused her a lot more pain than he was expecting. A really important message, but I still feel that the episode very badly handled equal punishments. It really infuriated me. And I've seen it before in the flesh, where one child gets punished and the other one doesn't, or at least the other one doesn't get to see the other child being punished, so they think they're being treated unfairly. And they don't feel like that their pain is being listened to. And that was so clear with Arthur. Not once did he feel like his parents actually understood how hurt he was at DW's actions. And you have to make the effort to show that that is the case. Unless his parents just didn't understand, in which case, that's pretty bad as well. The episode itself did annoy me, but it does have some important messages for children. Unfortunately, for parents watching it, it's not giving the best message at all. But that aside, Arthur's big hit, it's not terrible.